Hi, my name is Rachel Chateau, and I am with Pride.com. Ella, Aaron, it is so lovely to meet you both. I have been watching Fallout, and I have to say, I was completely blown away, and I
Aw.
had high expectations going in.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
so
So,
great.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
absolutely. I mean, there's so many things to love. Like, the tone is perfect, the attention to detail is insane, but none of it would really matter if it didn't have characters you could really invest in. And thankfully, I love both of your characters
Aw.
so, so much. And I want to get into that a little bit. So, what's complex about them is that they're so, in some ways, contradictory to them, like internally contradictory to themselves. For instance, I love Lucy. You're probably hearing that all day.
I see you.
She has like there's a naivety to her, but also there is this strength, and she's also sexually liberated, and also she can do the things she needs to do in order to survive. I'm curious for you, Ella, what does it mean to you as an actor to get to embody a character that sort of morally complex? And what do you hope, young women watching it will take away from seeing? Because we don't normally get to have both. We get one or the other, but
Yeah.
here we get both.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that question. I think that it's what I look for in every role is a multifaceted, multi-dimensional, real life person, because we are all so complex. And I think that deserves to be written and seen on screen. One of the things I love about Lucy is that the sort of like the dialogue she's having within herself all the time of following duty and obligation and what she was born and raised to do and taught her entire life. She comes from a long line of vault dwellers who believe they have to procreate and procreate and then go up to the surface and rebuild America. And that's her duty. And that's where a lot of that sexual liberation comes from. Is just, it is a duty and it's factual. And the attitudes towards relationships reflect, that obligation. But on the other side, she's having thoughts and complex feelings, and she's educated and she wants more. And going up to the surface and seeing the wasteland for the first time, all of that goes out the window. Like, what happens when everything you have ever believed, what you based the entire fabric of your being on, is just taken away from you? And you asked me about what young women could take away from this. I think Lucy has this inherent belief that all people are good, and that she believes in the golden rule and to do the right thing and all of that. And how she chooses to continue to maintain that belief, even when faced with evil. She chooses to see the good in people and trust people in the wasteland, for better or for worse. And that takes a certain strength. That takes a certain bravery. Strength has 1,000 different faces. You don't have to have gone through a trauma to exhibit it. Choosing to believe in good and find your own moral compass is strength in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I think that there is this ribbon of hope throughout it. And I think, even in the apocalypse, Lucy represents that. I also love Maximus because I think he is, like I said, incredibly complicated. On one hand, he is like, you can feel the like pain and the emotion, and it is just like just below the surface, but he's in this situation with the Brotherhood of Steel where all of those emotions are considered are kind of like pushed down and seen as weaknesses, but like he cannot hold those things back. I'm curious for you, Aaron, what do you think about getting to play a character like that and finding those levels? And then what do you hope young men watching it and seeing sort of this sort of like toxic situation play out this way?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to agree with Ella. I look for characters that are multi-dimensional. It is the most fun and rewarding, I think, to play as an actor, because not only are you getting to really do what I think is real, but I think you're getting the opportunity to learn from the characters that you play in a way that whenever they sort of just seem to have one dimension, it's just something that you're kind of playing at constantly, and it doesn't do as much for you. It's not as rewarding of an experience. But yeah, I think what a challenge it was to create the character of Maximus, and at the same time a real joy to find myself really playing with that internal war, that real struggle between who am I And not only who am I, but like, what do I want? And what is the right thing to do, especially with a person that maybe has a different moral compass than someone who was born underground in a vault. You know, the person who's lived their whole life above ground leans more to distrust in people, leans more toward by any means necessary to survive, you know. And again, the Brotherhood. I mean, as harsh as Maximus's reality is, the Brotherhood is a harsh existence for him as well. And yeah, I would hope that young men watching this, you know, there is an issue for young men these days of not understanding, one, how to communicate what is going on within us. And I think Maximus really struggles with that throughout this series. And we'll hopefully see him adapt and maybe get to draw off of characters that he can't understand their world at first, you know. But how to know how to express your emotions, to understand that words are just the tip of the iceberg as to what that emotional, you know, experience actually is of something. Like, it'd be a miracle if a person actually did express perfectly what an emotion was. You know what I mean with words? It would be a miracle. Like, it's just, I hope that people, you know, we keep making this joke of like, who's looking out for Max, you know, like, you know, but really is to, I hope young men understand to look to each other if that's what they have around them, is like, you know, help each other, and you know, survive in that way, survive in a more open way.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, I will tell you, I can't get enough of these characters. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I'm already like rooting for season 2, season 3, season 4. So
Aw,
thank you
so
for taking the
much.
time.
Thank you so
It was
much.
great
It
to
was so
meet
nice to
you.
meet you.